Blake. I'm your host, Alex Blake. And today we get to hang out with my husband, Zach.
Woo! I'm back.
You just cheered for yourself.
I'm back.
Okay, we need to put this pillow away. If you're watching on YouTube, you see Zach like hanging out with this ball pillow thing that I got.
This is nice. I like this.
It's cute, but it's a toy for Zach right now. It's a basketball for him.
Bear's looking at it too.
Oh gosh. He's going to be like, oh, a toy for me now. Okay, so it's been a second since we've had Zach on the pod.
That's true.
Yeah.
I was on the second episode, right?
Yeah, and this is episode 10.
Episode 10.
We've been hanging out for 10 whole episodes, guys.
Wow.
That means it's been 10 weeks.
You've grown so much since then.
I really have.
Yep.
Oh. No, but it kind of feels weird to me that it's like, I think it feels weird on both hands. Like, on one hand, it's like, wow, I can't believe it's been 10 episodes. I feel like I just started the podcast like, a week ago.
True.
But then on the other hand, too, I also feel like I've been doing this forever in some ways. Like, I feel like it's super natural to just like chat with you guys. And I feel like we have a little supernatural. No, but I feel like we have a community. I like getting your messages and getting to hang out with you.
It's been crazy seeing it grow.
Yeah,
too.
it has.
Like the YouTube channel and the podcast, all of the stuff. It's growing, which is pretty sweet.
It's growing.
It's growing. I mean, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, and it's just like really fun. I think that like just having an outlet where I can just like chat and talk, but also like I really do love teaching and educating. Like that's something that's just like very much a part of my personality, I think. So like having a space to be able to do that in a casual manner and like, make friends with people, it's totally down my alley.
Yeah.
So I can't believe it's been 10 episodes. Go us. We've done this together, guys. I wasn't even talking about you. I was saying like me and them.
No, I have nothing to do with this.
Except Zach edits everything for me. If it weren't for Zach, y'all would not be listening to a podcast. I can tell you that.
That's true.
So all that to say, rate, subscribe, like. Anything else?
Comment.
I cannot. The shameless plug.
Yeah,
anyway, okay, so Zach, it's been, wait, I can't do math. 8 episodes?
8 episodes.
It's been 8 episodes since you've been with us. Tell us some life updates while I put my blanket on to get comfy and cozy.
Some life updates. Okay, well, let's think. Since then, what's happened? 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
That's a lot. That's a lot of time.
Zach.
It's
been summer.
It's been summer. Since then, we went on the cruise before then, didn't we?
Zach has nothing going on in his life. You just got back from Georgia.
I just got back from Georgia. I was in Atlanta for a week.
He left me for 7 whole days.
Yeah. Alex was a little bit depressed.
No, I wasn't.
I was a little bit concerned.
Don't say that.
Little bit concerned.
No, I got to have really good girl time, but I was really sad with that stuff.
She didn't even notice I was gone.
He came back and I was like, oh, did you go to the store? No, I'm just kidding.
I know. Yeah, so I was there for a week. Got to go back to 12 Stone Church, which is where I work. Yeah. And that's kind of like the hub back in Atlanta. So went back there, got to hang out with a bunch of friends. Went on a little bit of a retreat there with some pastors, which was cool. Played some basketball, hung out by the pool, did some homework.
A little vacation. You went for work, but that sounds like a vacation.
No, I was in meetings. I was in so many meetings.
Yeah.
It was a lot of
He stayed with my dad and my stepmom, and they have a pool in their backyard. So I guess that was the time by the pool.
Well, I hung out there and did homework. So it was not vacation.
Zach is doing his master's right now, for those of you guys who don't know. Do you want to explain that? Is it a major? Is that what a master? What are you getting your master's in? That's the right question, right?
You don't major in your master's. I mean, I guess my master's is in pastoral theology.
Yeah.
So I'm taking classes that has to do with that. I won't go into detail with it. Y'all don't want to hear that, honestly.
I don't know. Let me know if you want to hear more about it. I'll have Zach back on. He can tell us all about his school stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I barely listen to it, though. He talks sometimes. And I'm like, oh, cool.
It's fun. I actually love it.
No,
but what have I done?
Cool,
I mean, that was 1 week. And then, honestly, the rest has been kind of normal, right?
I guess so. I shared with him last week about Adam and his surfing accident. That was crazy.
That was wild.
Oh, and then the week before we saw a shark surfing. And then I've also just been updating them on Big Brother. Those have been my life updates.
We went
Surfing
to
and
North
Big
Carolina
Brother.
since
did?
then. North Carolina, remember?
Nope. What did we do?
Yeah, we went up there for a shoot, and you thought it was...
Yes.
I mean, did you tell them about that?
No, that's South Carolina. Hilton Head.
Beaufort.
Oh, that
Wow.
one. Yeah, no, that one. I didn't share.
You
about
didn't?
that.
Well, you have to tell them now. Tell them.
Oh.
You have a hair on your mic.
Oh, get it.
There we go. I got it.
Okay.
Tell them everything.
You're putting me on the spot.
Yes, I am.
Okay, guys.
You thought you were interviewing me. I'm
my
interviewing you.
hands are sweaty.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I had a photographer fail.
You didn't think we were talking about horror stories.
Here's
Now
a
we
horror
are.
story for you guys, and it's right from my playbook of horror stories. But it worked out. It was really fun.
You can go into more detail later. Just give them the brief overview. Maybe this is
Later?
going to be a whole nother podcast of horror stories.
Oh, okay. Brief overview. I booked a shoot that's in Beaufort, okay? And there's a Beaufort, South Carolina that is an
Pretty
hour
popular spot.
away. Yeah, it's
Pretty
a popular spot.
like,
It's beautiful.
It's great.
And I haven't actually done a shoot there before. So I was like actually pretty excited about it. And I don't do a ton of couples shoots anymore. I still offer them just for like, you know, every so often. And sometimes they're in fun locations. So, you know, if they're in a fun location, I'll say yes to it pretty much. And this was one of those. I was like, I want to go to Beaufort. Totally fine. They paid my travel fee because it's like an hour 15-ish away.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they paid a travel fee for an hour 15. And then morning of the shoot, I put the address in that the guy, because it was a proposal shoot, the guy had sent me the night before, which was kind of outside of my usual thing. I'm normally pretty organized and have them fill out a whole thing, but he was from out of town too. They were traveling there. So like the guy didn't really know where he wanted to do it until the day before when they got there. And he sent me the address. Morning of, I put it in my GPS and it says that it's
Beaufort, North Carolina, not South Carolina.
which is just a little bit more than an hour and 15 minutes
It was
away.
about 6+ hours away from us. And luckily she saw it in the morning, so
Thank God,
we ended up
seriously.
making a little bit of a road trip.
Not a little bit. We straight up went on a road trip and didn't make any money on that session. I won't lie to you guys.
Good times.
And yeah,
Good times.
It's one of those things where a mistake like that won't happen again, but it's also like I had a little bit of it was kind of a laughing experience. Like it wasn't anything I was beating myself up for, you know, because it literally was like, what just happened? And it's nothing that's like a normal situation to happen. Nobody even knew. Like when I was telling my friends here, because we had to like figure out Bear too, our dog, you know, like we had to figure out people to watch him. So
luckily
I had to
we
tell
were
a bunch
just
of people.
gone for a day. We drove up there, spent the night, and then drove back the next
Yeah. And I am
morning.
very thankful too, I will say. It's very, very, very rare that I book 2 sessions in a day or more than one. So like when someone's booked for a day, it's like I don't have another session stacked on top of it the vast majority of the time. So we were able to move things around and just like go for it that day without like screwing up another session or something like that. But yeah, I didn't tell my client. I just showed up.
Acted like everything was fine.
I totally knew this. That's so bad.
That's all good.
But yeah, no, but it was so fun and the couple was so sweet and like it was actually like a great little getaway for us and everything too for the night.
Yeah.
But it was not Beaufort, South Carolina.
No, it was not.
So there's that. Thanks for calling me out on that one.
And then after that trip, I went to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Right?
That was your life update that I made a mistake in booking.
Yes.
That
happened. It was a good time. But yeah, so I went to Atlanta, and then this upcoming Monday, we're going to California.
Yeah.
Which is sweet.
Yeah, we're super excited.
Yeah, we're recording this on a Saturday, and then
by the time you're listening to this, we'll be coming home from California.
Coming home. That'll
be like the day that we're coming home.
Yeah, so we leave on Monday.
Yeah, we're so excited. I've been to California, gosh, like 5 times, maybe something like that.
I've been 1 time.
Yeah, and Zach has been once, but we decided we're actually going for a like church training, like a pastoral training type thing. At Saddleback Church in Lake Forest. So we're like pumped about that. But it's like funny because we're going to California, so I like really badly want to shoot and stuff too. But I don't know that we're gonna have time, so
Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're really excited about it. And even though it's not vacation, we were thinking that kind of leads us into like a good topic of conversation for today's podcast. And I just thought we would have fun for today. Just like chit chat like friends, hang out. Just a little community episode.
I'm cool with that.
You guys know I talk all the time about coaching, community, and creativity. So this is a community pillar episode.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, Zach, I just want you to come and hang out with me. I've done a couple solo episodes recently. So I was like, I need a friend on the pod.
We'll just hang.
Yeah.
We're just hanging. We got Bear down here too. I don't know if y'all can see him.
Probably not, but he's sleeping. He's sleeping down here.
He's just hanging out.
Yeah. He doesn't like this couch. The other couch, like when we record in the living room, he'll jump up there with us, but he doesn't like this one. I think it's because it's uncomfortable.
Maybe. I like it.
Yeah.
I like this thing. This little ball that I get to play with.
I cannot. The like practically basketball for Zach today.
Yeah.
Anyway, though, so for today's episode, because we're traveling this week, we thought it would be good to talk about some of our best travel moments and some of our worst or like funny travel moments.
Yes.
So Zach took notes, but he took notes on my phone. So I guess I'm leading the conversation, but there's Zach's notes. So I'm probably going to ask him like, wait, what did you mean by this question?
Yep, we'll see.
So, okay, what do you want to start with?
Well, first of all, let's just talk about, so when we first got married, or actually before we got married, in our premarital, the guy who did our premarital counseling, he told us kind of when you're first getting started in life, pick a luxury. Like pick something that you want to do.
Well, we were talking about our budget.
Yeah, we were talking about our budget. And so he was like, listen, you can have one luxury, pick it. And it's going to change throughout life, all of that kind of stuff. And we chose travel to be that thing. So it's like, we love to travel. We love to go all over the place. And when we first got married, we were like, oh man, it would be so sweet to go international once a year.
Yeah.
And then
we had really said like, okay, we want to have kids at some point, but for right now, we don't really want that. Obviously, if it happens, but like, we don't really want that. So like every year up until we have kids, we want to go international.
Yeah. Yeah. And that did not happen. Because COVID happened. Yeah. So we were not able to do that. And
we got married December 2019. So it was literally like right before COVID. So, but we did get to go on our honeymoon.
Yep. So our honeymoon was our first international trip together.
Yeah.
Which was pretty fun.
And it was cool too. Like we traveled quite a bit separately too, like before getting married. So.
Oh yeah. Should we say where we've been?
Oh gosh. Okay.
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
I don't have a list of that in my head.
Alex has been to a ton of places.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've talked about this before, so some of you guys might not know this, but when I was in elementary school, I lived in England for 3 years, which is really cool because my family and I were able to like travel around a ton of places in Europe. So it's like hard for me because I was younger, I was in elementary school. But like when Zach is like, oh, list all the places where you've been, it's like, it's a blessing, but it's a hard question to answer,
Because it's so easy to travel in Europe.
You can just just so you hop on a train and you're somewhere new,
Yeah, that's true.
So it's different. But yeah, I've been a lot of places in Europe because of that. And then I've been to Haiti on a couple mission trips. So I've been there a couple times.
Yep.
I've been to Guatemala and I've been to Colombia. All of those were on mission trips.
Mexico.
Yeah, we've been to Mexico, not on a mission trip, just for fun.
Just for fun.
Just for fun. But we were talking, I guess I've been to Mexico before we got married too.
Honduras.
Yeah, but that's not before we got married.
Oh, are we talking about just before we
You said to list them.
I don't know. I was just, before we got married.
Before we got married, sure. But yeah, this is where I was saying, like, I've been to California, like, a ton of times. I got to go with some friends in my early 20s, and that was, like, such fun trips. And then the first time I went to California was with my mom, and we did, like, a road trip down the coast.
How sweet.
No, it really was. That is, like, one of my favorite memories with my mom. It was so sweet. But, yeah. And then, like, all in the Southeast I've been, of course,
You've been to New York.
Oh, yeah, I've been to New York, Chicago. Oh, wait. Chicago, we went while we were married.
That's true.
Okay, this is a hard question, but I've been to a lot of places in Europe is the answer for me.
A lot of places in Europe. For me, before we got married, I went to Haiti a couple times too on a mission trip, which was fun.
Was Haiti your first place out of country?
Yes.
Yeah. And you were a junior in high school.
I was. Yeah. I was a junior in high school.
You went for more than like a week. How long did you go?
We went for like a month.
How crazy is
it was literally my first ever mission trip, and we were there for almost a month.
He went with his dad.
It was awesome. Yeah. It was actually so much fun.
This is actually something cool about Zach's family. I know this is kind of like totally off topic, but say like what your dad does.
Dad's a pastor.
Oh no. He is a pastor. But I meant like he used to take all of you kids.
Oh, yeah. So so I have a brother and a sister, and I'm the middle child. Let's go, middle children.
He needs all the attention.
I don't need it. I get it though. So every summer before our senior year, my dad would take us on a mission trip. So my older sister, she went to Zambia, Africa.
So cool.
Which is really cool. And then I went to Haiti, and my younger brother also went to Haiti too. And it was always the summer before our senior year. Yeah. Which was a pretty sweet thing to do. Honestly, I'm so glad that we did it. It was pretty life-changing for me. But anyway, went to Haiti, and then also went to, obviously, Canada. I went to Canada. I went to school in Canada. Mm-hmm. So
you went to college in Canada.
College in Canada. Been to Mexico. Where else? Oh, yeah. I went to Southeast Asia in college, too.
I was like waiting for you to say that.
So I was in Japan and Thailand and Myanmar. And that was an incredible trip. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. That was awesome.
Zach had a buzz cut.
Oh, y'all do not want to see that.
No.
Maybe I'll put a picture on there for you. Who knows?
Yeah, he got to like swim with elephants, which is like such a cool story. So he'll tell that story and bring up the picture. And every time people are like, oh,
like that's you?
Because you're like bald.
I know. It was not a good look at all. Never again. Yeah, I went like swimming with elephants while we were there.
Yeah.
And we went cliff jumping off waterfalls. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah. But all that to say, like, we'd traveled quite a bit. And so it was definitely something that, like, both of us just, like, love to travel separately. So when we got married, we were, like so excited to do that. Yeah.
That's our thing.
Yeah. So that has definitely been the luxury that we've chosen even to now, you know, like 5 years later.
Yeah.
I would definitely say that. But in different seasons too, because like moving here, we were kind of going through our travels today because we wanted to like walk you through them and just like talk about them. But it was interesting how like moving here, that became the priority and the luxury. Like when we moved here, you know, I quit my job. Your salary changed quite a bit when we moved here. So financially, it was like, okay, our luxury right now is that we're moving to Charleston, you know? So we didn't get to travel as much that year, but...
Yeah, we kind of put it on a pause for a little bit.
Yeah, but... Okay, should we walk through, like, the places we've been
All right,
together?
yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I'll go first.
You're leading this conversation, right?
Exactly. Well, you made the notes. I don't know. Okay, so the first place we went was Greece for our honeymoon.
That's right.
Went to Athens, Greece, and Santorini.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we decided we wanted to obviously go somewhere international for our honeymoon. And we literally told people for our registry, for the wedding registry, we're like, just give to our honeymoon fund. We just made a honeymoon fund and we're like, give to that.
We also had a registry.
We did, but we're like, listen, we would much rather prefer.
If people asked, like, hey, is there something you specifically want? We'd be like,
just give us your money.
Fund.
Give us your money so we can go on vacation. And that's what we did. So we went to Greece, and we went to Athens and Santorini.
I already said that.
You did?
Yes.
I missed that. I wasn't listening.
We were like making eye contact when I said it.
Whatever.
Anyway, yeah, that was awesome. And then after that, we did like a couple little vacations because, like I said, it was December when we got married. So we went in December. It was the off season, which was crazy.
Yeah.
But then after Greece, we did like small ones. Like I think it was right before Christmas. We did something called a getaway cabin, which was like in the North Georgia mountains. You remember that?
Yeah, that was after Greece, right?
Yes. Yeah. Greece was our honeymoon.
I know. Yeah. And then, do you want to talk about what we did in Greece?
Oh, sure.
At all? Or are you just skipping over that completely?
I thought we were just listing all the places.
No, let's talk about it. You don't have to rush through this. Come on.
Well, I thought we were going to I don't know. I didn't organize this.
She's thrown off when she doesn't
I don't have notes.
Sit down and
I mean, I do have notes, but they're not in my
organize all
brain.
of it. Okay, so what did we do
Let's talk about our best and worst travel experiences in Greece. Okay, what was the best part for you?
Oh,
I know. I know one of the good ones.
What are you going to say?
Zach. Okay, let me just tell you how I've changed Zach as a person. People say people can't change, but Zach is bougie now.
I've changed.
I have created that in him. He was not bougie before. He was just a Midwestern kid, before.
Yo, I grew up in the backwoods of Michigan, and we we didn't have much. We were not bougie. We were Midwest to the core.
Yeah.
Out there, I wore camo to school, not because it was cool. Like, we had to bring your tractor to school day. This is how backwoods we were. So we were not bougie at all. We had spaghetti for every meal.
All that to say,
goulash.
Zach had never had a massage before. And so I said, okay, you're getting your first massage in Greece on our honeymoon. So that was like one of the first things we did. Because we had just had like our wedding. We were exhausted. And then we traveled. And we had like 2 different layovers. Like, we were so tired by the time we got to Greece.
We really
So like
were.
the next day, immediately, it was like massage time.
And I didn't know what to expect. I was a little bit nervous, I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen here. I was scared, but I went in and came out a changed man.
He did. I will never forget when I watched Zach, because it wasn't like a couple's massage. It was like, so I had gotten done early and I saw Zach come out of his room and he had the little water that they'd given him, a robe on. And he was like,
I'll never forget it. It was awesome.
He was like a sloth, like slow moving, just like holding his cup up and greeting to the people around him. He was like so content with life after his massage.
It was an
What's
experience.
hilarious though is
it felt like an out of body experience. It was so after that I came out and I was like, this is the life right here. This is amazing.
So we also got another one while we were in Greece.
Yeah,
that was in Athens, and after that Zach was like, I love it. And so in Santorini,
we got one in Santorini too.
And that one was awesome because it was in the bottom. It was like the basement of a hotel. But remember, because it was like, it looked kind of like a cave, like being inside of a cave. Mm-hmm. And there was like a sauna, but because it was off season, no one was there.
We were literally the only people there.
Yeah.
And it was, I didn't like that one as much because it was like a full body. They did the scrub thing.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't like that.
They were exfoliating.
Yeah, but I don't need exfoliation. I'm good. But yeah, that was an experience. Yeah. I loved that. But I remember when we got to Greece, like, we were so disoriented because we were so tired. And the very first night we were there in Athens, we get there and we're like enjoying the city. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. All the things. And we're exhausted. So we go to bed a little bit early, probably around 9 o'clock, right?
No. We went to bed earlier than that. Yeah, we went to bed at like 7. We were so tired because we were just like super jet lag.
Yeah, so we go to bed at 7 p.m. I know. Everybody's laughing at us. We were newbies. We didn't know what to do. We should have pushed through. But we go to bed at 7 p.m. And then we wake up and we're like, oh, let's go.
We were like
our first day in Athens.
We were so excited.
We were rejuvenated.
We say like good morning to each other. You know, it's like our second day of being married.
Yeah, we were so pumped. And so I take a shower. I get out of the shower. I come out. I look at my phone. And it's 9 p.m. 9 p.m. the same day. We were like, what just happened? Oh my gosh.
We slept for 2 hours.
And we both woke up at the same time. It was wild.
It was very funny. Yeah.
So then we had to force ourselves to like go back to sleep for the entire night. That was rough.
The jet lag was real. That was the worst we'd ever gotten hit with jet lag.
But
I really think it was like just the exhaustion of like the wedding and all of that kind of stuff too.
Yep.
But okay, what are some other things in Greece?
Okay. So Santorini was awesome, and we were right on the cliff.
Yeah, Santorini, if you don't know what it is, it's like an island of Greece, and it has like the white houses. Have you ever seen those?
Houses right on the cliff. We were literally staying in one of those. It was awesome. Yeah, you're right.
That was kind of a fail, honestly.
Yeah, because
like we loved where we were staying location-wise, but the Airbnb
seems like it'll be awesome. But then we have our luggage packed full of stuff, super heavy, and we're lugging it down these stairs to our little Airbnb on the side of the thing, and we're like sweating
huffing and puffing,
bullets, huffing and puffing. There's donkeys passing us going by all of the things. And so we get down there, and it was cool once we got in.
No, it
Somewhat.
wasn't. I think you're remembering it wrong.
No, I remember it.
The location was incredible. Like I would stay there again.
Yeah.
But remember, because
it was supposed to have a hot tub, and it didn't. Like,
yes, because it was off season.
Yeah.
But remember, there was also like a leak or something in the bathroom, and
it wasn't as nice
Yeah.
as we thought it would be.
Yeah.
But we made the most of it.
Yeah,
we
we
like
did.
rented a convertible there. We drove around the island.
Yeah.
They had this little black sand beach that we went to that was beautiful.
Yeah, we just adventured around.
Yeah,
Something
it
that was really
awesome.
cool is like normally if you go to Santorini like in the summer or the spring, it's like packed.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been, but I've seen pictures and videos and stuff and I'm like, oh, that is rough. Like tourist season.
Yeah.
But because we went in the winter, like less things were open. So there was definitely like less stuff to do. But we just got to like experience it truly. Like it was empty and we got to like meet all
which
the
is
locals.
pretty cool.
And that we really like getting to do that kind of stuff.
Although I do remember, so at our wedding, one of the things that I did for a picture was I did a backflip off our getaway car. And when I landed, I bruised my heel so bad. And then the entire week while we were in Greece, I was limping around.
Yeah.
Oh, it hurt so
because he had
bad.
a bruise on his heel from it.
Yeah, I bruised my heel.
But sick picture.
But it was a sick picture.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was
actually
pretty
pretty dope.
Okay.
But that was Greece.
Yeah,
that was our
Greece.
first vacation together. Really.
Yeah. True.
It was a good time.
Yeah, it was.
And then after that was the getaway.
Yeah, it was the getaway cabin. And that one, honestly, I don't know why we did that.
I think it was something you saw.
Yeah, I think I saw it on Instagram or something. I got.
I didn't know what we were doing.
I just thought it was cute. It was a tiny little house and it looked like camping, but it looked like bougie camping, which I would prefer.
And the whole point of these things is you're supposed to go up there and they literally have
You
a
get
little
away.
Yeah, you get away from social media, the
Yeah.
world. They don't have Wi-Fi. They have a box that you put your phones in and you're supposed to spend quality time together. And we're like, "Oh, yeah. We could totally do that."
But then we got there and it was pouring out raining.
It was raining and
so like we
it was
couldn't do
foggy.
a bonfire.
We had Bear with us too, so he was getting all muddy coming inside this tiny
Yeah.
little getaway house. And also,
I was about to say this.
what? What were you gonna say?
The ladybugs.
Oh yeah, there was also a ladybug infestation.
Like
too.
not just a couple. Like no. Lining the walls, guys.
Yeah.
Like we would lay in the bed and look up. They're all over the ceilings.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
That was
and
gross.
we just got so bored so quickly.
Yeah.
Maybe that just
We
shows...
like to do stuff.
Yeah, we like to go and do stuff and have fun. And so we were supposed to put our phones away and we're like, screw that. Let's grab our phones. Let's go. We literally went to a city nearby, Dahlonega.
Not nearby. It was like 30 minutes away.
Yeah,
and it
that's
was like the
true.
nearest city. And we're like, we just want
That's
to hang
true.
out with people
Yeah.
and eat dinner.
So we went out, got some dinner. We didn't even spend time in the getaway cabin
No,
really at
not
all.
really.
Yeah, we were
so
bad
that
at
was like more of like a worst kind of decision. But then after that, okay, this is kind of crazy, but the first week of March 2020, most people hear that and they're like, oh, that's when like the pandemic kind of started,
That's
you know?
true.
Well, for us, we were on a cruise.
Yeah, we were one of those people on a cruise during
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah, so we almost got stuck. Like the cruises that came right after us were the ones that had to quarantine on the cruise. So we're really thankful that we made it in time. So
We
that was
went-
nuts.
We went with our friends Matt and Caroline McMinn. Shout out, Matt and Caroline.
I doubt they're listening to
Oh,
this.
they're totally listening. They will now.
Sure.
But we went with them, and they're one of our couple friends, and we literally drove all night to South Florida. Where were we? going
Miami.
on?
No,
Miami?
no. Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, so Matt and I, we drove all night while the girls slept in the back.
Yeah.
And we listened to
It was
podcasts.
right after.
Yeah.
It was right after a Sunday too, and that was when Zach was a
Yeah.
worship pastor and had to get up really early and had like services all day. And then I had been.
Yep.
At that time I was a middle school and high school pastor, and it was middle school retreat right before that too.
That's
and
right.
so I had been at
That's right.
our winter retreat, and then literally came home from it, and we all hopped in the car.
And
They
we-
were exhausted.
we were so
driving,
tired.
but
I was up at
snoozing.
4 a.m. that that morning and then had services all day.
Yeah.
And then got back home and we're like, let's send it. Let's go.
Let's go on a cruise.
It was fun. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And I was so exhausted when we got down.
But yeah, that one went to
Mexico.
Yeah.
It was
Cozumel and Grand Cayman.
Yeah. And we had some fun stories while we were there.
Oh, yeah. Tell the one about Mexico. That's the main one.
So we were in Cozumel and we went to, was it Cozumel?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go to this little island. Is Cozumel an island?
What are you talking about?
Weren't we on an island? Like,
nope.
No? I swear we were.
Is Cozumel an island?
I don't know. We don't know.
I want to look it up. This is bad.
Look it up.
I don't think so.
But
anyway, we rent a moped.
We go there. We rent mopeds. So Alex and I are on one. Matt and Caroline are on the other one. And honestly, we get on it.
Cozumel is an island in Mexico.
Let's go. So we get there, and I feel pretty good about driving this moped. We get it, and I'd never driven one before, but I start going and like getting the hang of it. My friend Matt, I was terrified for him.
Yeah, we were watching him like, oh no.
I thought
Matt
he was going to get hit by a
today.
car going out onto the road.
And it's like driving in Mexico.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, driving in Mexico. And it was pretty heavy traffic at that time.
Yeah, it was.
And I was very nervous for them. So we're driving. We start going to the beach that we were going to go to. And we're having a good time.
Again,
all this
we're
stuff.
nervous for them. Zach's doing fine.
I'm doing great. And then I'm driving, and there's a stoplight. And I look to my left because there's a car merging. And when I turn back and look straight, there's a Jeep that had just stopped right in front of me.
I see it, and I'm like, Zach, stop.
So I slam on my brakes and just ram into the back of this Jeep. We just ram into it.
Thankfully, we were okay. We didn't fall off.
Like, yeah, we didn't fall off.
It wasn't like that hard of a ram, you know.
No, but we hit this thing,
did.
left a mark, and I just look up, and I saw the guy look up at me and wave, and I was just like, I'm out of here.
Well, clarify, the guy was like, yeah, you can't just say, I'm out of here. No, it was like
exactly
between the two of us. He was a tourist, we were tourists, and it was like,
we're not calling the police. We're not reporting this, nothing. And I just zoom around this guy and book it out of there. And
you literally just incriminated yourself. But I promise it wasn't
It was straight up a hit and run. I was out of there. No Mexican officials are watching this. Police officials, like, nobody cares. And Matt and Caroline, they see the entire thing. They're behind us. And Matt said that they were sitting on their moped literally laughing for 30 minutes.
Especially because we were so nervous that, like, they were going to do something exactly the way that we did.
Yeah. But we made it out alive.
Yeah. And we made it off the cruise without having to quarantine on the cruise. So that was nice.
We get back to America.
And we did the cruise with no Wi-Fi.
We did no Wi-Fi. We were totally disconnected. So when we get back, we had no idea all the stuff that was going on. But I remember there's tornadoes in Nashville. Everything's starting to shut down. Everybody's talking about COVID, and we're like, what is going on? And then everything shut down the week after. Yeah. It was wild.
It was pretty wild. But that was the cruise. And then, okay. Do you want to talk about Providence Canyon for a little bit? This was like during COVID.
This is a great one.
Yeah, we were, and this was like, you know, when it was lawful to do so and all the things. But like we were like we really just need to get out of the house, and so we went camping, just the two of us. And we went like 3 hours south of us. I don't know how lawful that was,
but we went anyway. And
we went like 3 hours south of us to this like canyon in Georgia, and it was beautiful.
Well, yes, they call it a mini Grand Canyon. That's what they say it looks like. But it's all just Georgia red clay.
It's like erosion, I think, that's like caused it or something.
I mean, it looks pretty cool.
But it is. It's cool for Georgia.
No, it's a little underwhelming. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. But it was pretty.
But it was my idea to go, right? I really wanted to go camping. I grew up camping.
And I like to hike and stuff, but I'm not like a camping girl.
She's a glamping girl.
Yes.
Glamper. And I'm a camper. I'm like, let me go outside, rough it for a night. Yeah. It's great.
So Zach kind of convinced me to go on this trip, and I was like, I will absolutely camp with you if we have an air mattress. Like, if we have an air mattress, I'm down for it. I just don't want to sleep on the floor, you know?
And I pitched it as like, a nice little family getaway. It was us. We brought Bear. We were excited. All of the things. Get out into nature. So we get down there, and I booked this online, all of this stuff, and I didn't realize it's a primitive campground. So there's no running water. There's no electricity. There's no nothing.
There's a gross little outhouse where you go to the bathroom. Mm-hmm.
And we get out there. So I bring the air mattress that Alex demanded us to
Demanded
have.
Is such a strong word.
It might be. That was your stipulation for us going camping.
And you agreed to.
And I agreed to it. And I was like, oh, we can do that. Yeah. That'll be nice. And there's no way to pump it up. Not a single way to pump it up.
And we didn't have anything that like plugged into our car at that time or anything like that.
Nothing. So I was like, okay, we're going to have to just sleep on the ground.
But remember, we didn't bring sleeping bags or anything. We brought sheets for the air mattress.
Yeah.
So like,
so there's no padding.
Yeah. So like now it's worse even than like what it would have originally been had we not even brought the air mattress, because we're sleeping on a sheet.
Yeah.
A sheet.
Yeah.
And it was like, then we had the blanket. Oh, and this is the other thing, because it was like the red Georgia clay. Bear.
And it had rained.
Yes,
it had rained the day before. Oh my gosh.
So Bear he's a blonde dog, and he was fully orange. And I mean like disgusting. So like he couldn't even be in our tent with us because like he was so gross, guys.
I'm going to show you Bear.
Okay, if you're watching on YouTube, Zach is going to show you Bear. Bear's like snoozing over there, and Zach is disrupting his sleep. But yeah, so he's a blonde dog, as you can see. Bear, say hi. He's like, what is happening? But he was like fully orange, guys. So
that was Bear.
Yeah, but he's like a house dog. I have had Bear. I had Bear before Zach and I got married. So he's like used to me, the bougie one, and he's not a camping dog.
Outdoor dog.
And he's not an outdoor dog. So the whole night we're sleeping on the ground on a sheet, and then Bear is like pacing
and there's some
back.
creepy people near us.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
There was a lot going on, guys. But Bear is like pacing back and forth outside, and all I can hear is him. And I'm like worried about him being outside of our tent. And like, anyway, it was just like so much with that.
And that night, so this is kind of funny. It's kind of similar to the Grease story. But we wake up, and it was a full moon out. So it was super bright outside. And
so I finally got into sleep. Yeah. And then we wake up.
And we wake up and we look at the clock and it's only 1 a.m.
But then, we didn't know that. We thought it was morning. Yeah. It was similar to the Grease story. And so like, so then I like look at the clock. It's 1 a.m. and I just immediately start bawling.
She started crying. And I was like, this is a bad husband moment right here. I'm like, this is a learning moment for me.
I never want to do this again. I thought I made it through the night. It's like, to me, it was the equivalent of being on Survivor that night.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. Anyway. So we made it to the morning, and we just got out of there as soon as we could.
And I would like to clarify that since then we have camped. And everything has been fine. Well. Yes.
We went camping with Matt and Caroline.
Yeah, we
did. And it went great.
Yeah. And it was great. But anyway, we're not going to tell you like all the rest of our like little vacations, because we have gone on a ton of little vacations that are similar to that. But those were our like funny stories of like the little ones, like the getaway cabin being ladybug infested and everything. But we've also been to like Florida, what feels like a million times. And now my mom and brother live there. So now we go even more.
Yeah, we went and like rode horses on the beach there. That was really cool.
Really
went swimming.
Stuff. Yeah.
They literally would take the horses and you go swimming in the water with them. It was awesome.
And then like too, before we moved to Charleston, we came here a ton to visit Zach's family. So we got that. We go on family vacation every year with Zach's family, and we'll go to the lake, So there's
we went
definitely
to Michigan last year.
Yeah, we went
on
to
a
Michigan.
family vacation. That was fun.
Yeah. So there's like ton of little things, but as far as like our bigger trips goes, kind of after that, I think the next one would be like Arizona and California.
Yeah. That was such a fun trip.
Yeah, we did that in 2021.
We actually did that instead of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we skipped Thanksgiving.
We literally skipped Thanksgiving. We're like, we're going on vacation.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a lot going on.
Yeah. But my brother and sister-in-law also went with us for part of the time. We flew into Phoenix.
Yeah.
And we hung out there for a little bit.
Rented a car.
We met up together.
Because they, at the time, we lived in Georgia and they lived in Charleston.
That's right.
So we flew into Phoenix and met them there.
Yeah. I remember we go and we pick them up and we start driving away. And Micah, my brother, was like, "Where's my phone? I cannot find my phone anywhere." And he literally, somehow between walking off of the airplane into walking to our car, lost his phone.
And he had texted us. So it wasn't like he'd left it on the airplane.
Yeah. It was completely, it just vanished. And then later found out, like, I don't even know. It must have fallen out of his pocket, but somebody picked it up and stole it.
Yeah.
Like, just
it was like in another state.
It was in another
that
state.
Evening,
We're like,
when he like found his iPhone thing or whatever.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But it was so funny too. That was such a random thing because we were like looking around. Like we went back to like where he rented the car and we were looking all on the ground for it and everything. And we found someone else's phone that had been run over. Do you remember that? But it wasn't his.
No, we didn't. It wasn't a phone. It was something else. It just was like something black on the road. We literally stopped in the road and picked it up.
No.
And I was like, that's not a phone.
I think it was a phone.
No, it wasn't. Totally wasn't.
I think it was a phone. Anyway, so that was a crazy story from that. But then after we were in Phoenix, we stayed like one night there, I think. And then we went up to the Grand Canyon. And that was amazing getting to see that.
That was awesome. And this was my first time going out west.
Yeah.
First time in the
I'd
west.
never been to Arizona before, though.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So we went to the Grand Canyon, did some hiking over there.
And then
was
we
just mind-blowing.
went to Sedona. I think that was our favorite place that we went in Arizona.
Sedona was so cool.
Yeah, Sedona was beautiful. The hiking there was like amazing. I don't think I'd ever seen anything in person like Sedona, which was just cool.
Yeah, so we were there for a night. This trip was actually kind of crazy. We just did.
We just wanted
were there
to do
for
it all.
one night. So we did Phoenix, Grand Canyon, Sedona. After one night there, we hiked and then drove back to Phoenix where we dropped off Micah and Bethany.
Yeah.
And they had to head out.
Because they were doing Thanksgiving with their families like normal people.
Yeah, we completely skipped it. So we dropped them off and we started driving even further west.
Yeah.
And our first stop was Joshua Tree.
Yeah, and we spent the night in Joshua Tree, and that was Thanksgiving morning, so we did a hike there. And that was, like, beautiful. I'd been to Joshua Tree once before with my mom, and, like, loved it. So I was like, we have to go to Joshua Tree, Zach. You're going to love it. And it's really amazing.
We stayed in this bougie Airbnb.
Yeah.
It was so sick.
It was awesome.
And then, the next morning we went on that hiking trip.
Yeah.
And that was sweet.
Yeah, that was awesome. And then we drove over to Laguna Beach, which is like one of my favorite beaches in California. Cool. So I wanted to show Zach that too. So into Laguna Beach and we got to like watch the sunset on the beach and hang out there for a while.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And then we flew out from LA the next day.
No, we went to dinner that night. Because I was
that's right. Because that was Thanksgiving Day. So Thanksgiving morning, we hiked Joshua Tree, then drove over to Laguna, and then had Thanksgiving dinner
at this really, really nice restaurant. And we didn't realize how nice it was. Literally.
We didn't know they had a set menu that day.
They had a set menu.
For Thanksgiving.
And it was like a Thanksgiving set menu. And it was
very expensive.
Very
I want to
expensive.
say, if I remember right, it was like $200 a person.
It was, I think it ended up being like $350 for both of us.
Okay. Still, not the way that we normally
and it
spend
wasn't
our money.
Good. I remember it was a Thanksgiving meal.
And then I
trash.
also, like, I told you guys this a little bit, but like I have all of those like dietary restrictions too. So I'm like gluten-free, low FODMAP.
Yeah.
And I couldn't eat the stuff on the set menu.
Yeah, that was brutal.
So that was like really rough. But we paid so much money for it. And the view was awesome. And again, like,
we were right on the water.
We didn't know that it was going to be that until they served us the first course. And we were like, wait, we haven't ordered yet. And they're like, yeah, it's a set menu.
Lots of regret.
Yeah, so that was our only like bad story, I guess, of that one. But that was a great trip.
That was such
and that
a
one
fun
was
trip.
like really fun too because we were really pretty disappointed that we couldn't do an international trip that year through all of the COVID stuff. So that was really awesome that we got to do something so fun and like with people and stuff, even though we couldn't do an international trip.
Yeah, it turns out America's pretty nice too. Turns out.
Who knew?
Who knew?
Okay. The next one though,
What was the next one?
Do you want to talk about 2022, what we were supposed to do and didn't get to do?
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, so this is a good story. So we had planned on a trip to Italy for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
This was
going to be, okay, once the pandemic clears,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to Italy.
We're going to Italy. This is going to be our international trip that we didn't get to do the year before. We are so excited about this.
So we book it. We were supposed to go in April,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was like the end of April, and we booked it January 2022. And Zach, when he was booking it, he's like, "Oh, can you go check your passport? I just am checking mine. I have to get a new one. Can you go check yours?" I go check it, and I'm like, "Yep, I'm good. It expires in June." And then he like books it, and then we're supposed to go in April. And do you want to pick up the story?
Yeah, so we're supposed to go in April, and we're leaving on a Monday. So I go in and I start putting in...
Saturday.
It's a Saturday, and I start putting in some of our passport information just into the flight stuff. Just getting ready, and I put in my information, type in all my passport stuff, and I grab Alex's passport, start typing it in, and I stop and I stare at it for about 10 minutes because her passport was expired. And we're leaving in 2 days. And this is a Saturday.
And I was at a shoot.
She was at a shoot, and I luckily I was able to stop and process a little bit. I couldn't get a hold of her at first. And so Alex, on her way back from the shoot, I call her up and I was like, "Hey, do you know something I don't about your passport?" And I tell her what's up, and it's just waterworks. She's crying. I think you literally had to pull off on the side of the road or something. I don't even know. You were crying.
I blacked out. I was so stressed about it. No, I felt so bad. It turns out it didn't expire in June of 2022. It expired in June of 2021. But because I had looked at the passport in January, my brain just did that thing where it's like, "Oh yeah, it's 2021.
Yeah, we're good. We're good."
So I made that mistake, and I never will again.
And
Man,
we had to
This whole episode is just me making mistakes.
I mean, I'm
man.
not saying it, but so we had to scrap that entire trip. And luckily it was still a COVID-ish time, so we had paid for a lot of like the insurance.
Yeah.
And we got basically all of our money back.
I think we lost only like $500, which of course, like, nobody wants to lose any money, but at the same time, like, from a trip to Italy for 7 days, like, we are glad that was all that we lost.
But we ended up, instead of going to Italy, went to Florida and hung out with my mother-in-law.
Yeah. I hear Florida is the new Italy.
Yeah, that's what they say. Which honestly, yeah,
so funny. No,
it's
and
funny
we
to
love
laugh
my
at,
mom,
but
and it was like actually a great trip. But
I love you, Mama H.
No, and it really was. And actually, it turns out that like that was the week too where God just kind of like messed with Zach in the best way during that trip, and kind of laid it on both of our hearts. I think he'd already been kind of beginning that seed and dream in mine, but like that was where it was really solidified for you that we should bring up a conversation about what it would look like to move to Charleston. So it is kind of cool to look back on it. Like, Italy at that time would have been amazing, obviously, and I really wish that we would have been able to go, but it would have also been like really go and do and see and like run and, you know, do all the things that vacation in Europe is. But when we went to Florida, it was like chilling on the beach. It was sitting there.
We had zero plans.
Yeah, no plans. And so it was just like sitting and getting to process and getting to pray, and like God just met us there in a unique way, I think.
It's true.
Which is kind of special, you know? It's like in my mistakes.
He definitely used it.
He used my expired passport.
Oh, yeah.
All that to say,
we did get to go to Italy, though.
We did. But did you want to talk about Utah first? Because we did get to go to Utah in August of that year.
That's true. Yeah, we were so distraught and hopeless that we were like, we need to do something. We
already had it planned.
Yeah, so Alex went to a content weekend.
Yeah.
And... she was super afraid to go by herself. That is a true story.
No, it is. And it's so funny now because I think like I look back and like I would totally do that now, no hesitations. And I don't know if maybe that comes from like confidence in my photography now and confidence in like being able to walk in a room and make friends. Or maybe a piece of it too is that I host photo camp and I get to experience it on the other side. But like going to it, I was a part-time photographer at the time, and I didn't really have a lot of friends in the industry at that time either.
That's true.
So I was like so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, it feels like really weird to go to the other side of the country without Zach and like meet people. I don't know. I was so nervous about it.
Well, so she was like, all right, Zach, can you please come with me to this thing? Although I can't go to the content weekend, so I was like, heck yeah, I'll go to Utah. So I reached out.
I was like, you should make a guy's trip.
Yeah, so I made a guy's trip out of it. I met two of my buddies, Alex Carney and Max, and we met out there. Yeah. And while she was at the content weekend, we're like, let's rent a car and let's drive down to Zion National Park and just like have the time of our lives. And
they really did. Like,
it was so good.
Their pictures are awesome. They got to go, what are those like dune buggy things?
Oh yeah, they were dune buggies or side by sides. But first we went to Bryce Canyon. We like literally got there almost at sunset, and we sprinted down the canyon, came back up. It was amazing. Drove over to Zion National Park. We had a little Airbnb right outside of there. It was so sick. So we went and did Angel's Landing, did the Narrows. We went cliff jumping, went to the dunes. We just did everything that we could.
Total awesome, guys.
Oh, it was such a good time. Such a good time.
And it was cool too because like we both got to go at the same time to Utah but have two totally different experiences. And that's where like I met my friends Preston and Megan and so many other friends from the content weekend, and like Kylie and Isabella and Brandy, like, and it was just like, yeah, I think that like that content weekend pushed so much of my confidence.
That's
and,
true.
Like,
that's true.
Everything. And and then I got to like experience these amazing shoots too and do like styled shoots. And then I got to go to all of these amazing locations in Utah that were like on my bucket list, like the Salt Flats and stuff like that.
And that was a huge thing for your career in general. It launched you really into your career.
Yeah, it did. And it was cool because like it was right before I went full time too. I was going to be full time October. And I went in August, and I knew that I was going to be full time at that time, but I wasn't yet. And it really did like catapult me. Just the timing of it was amazing. So yeah, that's why I encourage people to go to content weekends all the time, especially when they're educational. And obviously a big part of why I host photo camp too, because it really has been a huge part of my photography story and journey in general.
Yeah. Just being able to network, meet new people. Yeah.
And feel encouraged, I think, and encourage others. So. And
also work on your craft. Like that's such a huge thing. You need that.
Yeah. It really was like one of the best things that I've ever invested in my business. But this is not a plug for photo camp. I was just saying.
But you should go. Facts.
Anyway, though. Okay. So that was Utah. And then we moved to Charleston that December. So everything was kind of like put on pause for us for a while. But the next November,
we went to Italy.
We finally went, guys. I got a new passport.
She got a passport. And honestly, we got to go for a longer amount of time.
Yeah, we went for 10 days to Italy. And we went in November 2023.
Oh, it was so much fun. Yeah. That trip was just amazing.
I think it was our favorite trip.
There was nothing that went wrong, really, on that trip at all.
Or we just blocked it out of our memory.
I don't know. The food was good.
No, it was. This was something. If you are gluten free, go to Italy.
Italy.
I'm so serious right now. I just got so like intense, but I'm so serious because like even here, I never really get to go to a place and like am assured that they're gonna have pasta. Right? But like
everywhere in Italy has gluten-free pasta.
I could go anywhere and have a gluten-free anything. I never really we always checked with them just because I'm used to it. But like almost every restaurant had gluten-free options from dessert to bread to pizza to pasta. I never had to worry about it. And this is the other thing, because I don't eat onion and garlic either. They cook everything so fresh that like whatever it says is on the menu, that's what's in it. They don't really put like seasonings on their stuff as much. It's like if it doesn't say that garlic is in it on the menu, then garlic isn't in it. Versus like here in America, there's like the garlic seasoning, onion seasoning that goes on stuff.
Or even I think a lot of it's just not pre-mixed too.
Sure,
So
yeah,
they
that's true.
put it all on individually, and then
Yeah.
they serve it to you.
But the food.
The food was good. Food was really good.
But it was like extra good for me because I never get to have these things, you know?
Yep.
And they're Fanta. Okay, wait. Do you guys want to know something that I do? That I do in every country that I go to?
I know what you're gonna say.
Do you want to tell them?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Zach makes fun of me for it.
Yeah, it's funny. But every country she goes to, McDonald's.
Which, okay.
What an amazing cultural experience.
But it actually is in a weird way, okay? Because McDonald's is different in every country. And I think it's so cool to get to see, like, obviously we have our American version of McDonald's, you know? And
yeah.
It is what it is. But when you go to like McDonald's in other countries, there are things that are on the menu for that country, which is really cool. And it's like, it truly is an experience. Like a lot of
it was
time,
fun. We had a fun time with it. They
like,
had these little pizza. It was like pizza pockets.
Yeah.
Is that what
they
they're
had
called?
cheese fries.
Hot pockets. They were like little hot
pockets
pockets there. And cheese fries. And
they had a gluten-free bun at McDonald's. Hello.
It was crazy.
But, yeah, like, and the aesthetic of it is really cool. They
Best
had like
food
a
that we had there.
They had a fountain in it. Like, yeah, and every McDonald's is really cool. Like the one in Guatemala had a courtyard outside.
Wow.
I'm telling you guys.
Americans step up their game.
They really do. McDonald's in other countries are awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Also, while we were in Italy, we went on a little wine tour, which was pretty sweet. The Chianti wine tour. And that was pretty fun. That was a whole day. That was a pretty long
Guys,
trip.
wait. I have to tell you this, though. This is so funny. So while we were there, I kept doing, like, kind of stranger sessions. You know, I'd just go up to people and, like...
Oh, yeah.
And just be like, hey, like, can I take your picture? Is that okay? Like, I'm a photographer, blah, blah, blah. And then I would, like, send them the pictures after. And it was, like, just for fun because I wanted to take pictures while we were in Italy. And anyway, we went on this Chianti wine tour, and I found someone... she was like super cute, and I like walked up to her and I was like, hey, can I take your picture? And she said yes. And then we started talking on our way back to the tour bus, and it turns out she's actually like an exchange student right now, and she lives there, but she's from like the Boston area. And yeah, and we're like chatting, and she's like, I know like one person in Charleston. And I was like, oh, that's so funny. Like, what if I know them? Who is it? She says like Jackie, and I was like, oh, I don't think I know a Jackie, like inside my head. I'm like, oh, I don't know. So probably not, but it was a long shot anyway. And at that point, we've only lived in Charleston for like a year. So like probably not. And then later that day, I get home, I look her up on Instagram, and it turns out we have a mutual friend. Jackie is one of my best friends who's in my small group's mom.
Yeah.
And it turns out
like we know her.
Yes,
we know her.
So Victoria, the girl I met in Italy, is Jackie's goddaughter.
Crazy.
What?
Also, two of the couples in quotations.
You are so calling me out on
that
this
she went up to. They were not couples. They were brother and sister, and it was a little awkward.
Okay, so the first question that you need to do, if you're going to do a stranger session and you're going to do anything with a couple, you need to walk up to them and say, hey, you guys look so sweet. Are you a couple? Because I did not. Yeah. And I went up to them and said, you guys are so sweet.
When you ask them
Can
to
I
kiss?
take your picture? And then I started posing them. Yeah. And 2 separate times they were like looking at me like terrified in the way that I was posing them. And then I was like, wait, are you guys siblings? And they were like, yeah.
Yeah.
So just be cautious about that one.
A little weird. It happens.
I wish that you would have recorded me doing that, because honestly, that would have been a bomb reel.
Me too. Oh, yeah. So we went to the Chianti wine tour.
Yeah.
And while we were there, so we bought a bottle of wine, and they're like, hey, if you wait 5 years before drinking this, it's going to be the best bottle of wine you've ever had. And so we bought it, and we're like, let's do a thing where we'll wait 5 years, and in 5 years, it'll be our 10-year anniversary.
Ooh.
Which is crazy. So we're going to open up the bottle of wine on our 10th year anniversary. And who knows if we go back to Italy for that, or
I don't know.
Greece,
we kind of talked about going back to Greece, because I think there's a lot of the stuff in Greece that we'd probably do differently.
That's true.
Now that we're not like.
But we're going to bring the bottle and open it up there.
Yes.
For our 10th year. I think that'll be sweet.
Yeah. Anything else on Italy? Oh, I know. No, that deserved the gasp. Because we almost forgot our massage story in Italy.
Oh, no.
This is so funny.
This is
so
a,
because
this
now
is a
Zach
horror
is
story.
This is a horror story. It could have been worse, honestly, but because Zach is now bougie, everywhere we go, we get a massage, right?
Yeah.
And so we had not pre-planned our massage in Italy, which normally for a trip like that we would pre-plan it, but we had just gotten lost in the mix of life, I guess, before. So we hadn't pre-planned it. Where we had gone to, for Italy, we did Venice and then Florence and then Rome. So it's Rome was our last place, and we're like kind of getting into crunch time. Like we haven't booked a massage. And we were going to the Vatican on, I think it was our last day, right?
It was, yeah, something like that. Our last day.
So
we're like, oh, we've got to end it out with a bang.
Yeah,
Let's go get a massage.
Yeah, so we're like, okay, but we need to book it, and we hadn't. And so we're going to the Vatican, and we go get our tickets, and on our way back, because we had to wait like an hour or something, we see this like massage place.
And we're like,
just
oh my
on
gosh,
the street.
right by the Vatican?
And we're like, wow, this is awesome. And it's a Thai massage place, which is kind of funny in Italy. But guys, I love a good Thai massage, okay? They like stretch you out after, which it just feels good. So anyway.
Yeah. No.
Anyway, so we go and make an appointment. And honestly, the big red flag should have been that they like easily had an appointment. It was what time do you want to come back? Like it was them asking us, not being like, oh, we have this one opportunity that you could slide in.
And y'all, there were multiple red flags. Most people would stop at the first one. Not us. Not us. We say we're gonna keep going with this no matter what.
They say, what time do you want to come back? We tell them we go do the Vatican, eat more McDonald's, and then
I forgot you got some fries.
Yeah, I did. I got some cheese fries. Yep. And then after the Vatican and the McDonald's little trip, we went back for our massage. And that was one thing was when we got there, they said, hey, we actually don't have availability to do a couples massage, but we can do a massage separately of you guys. Like the couples room, I guess, was booked. And we said, okay. And then they started walking us back. And I realized that it wasn't like the cleanest place. So that was like my first kind of thing where I was like, oh, okay, interesting. And then they take me to my room first. And they open the door. And it's straight up a cushion on the floor.
It's on the floor.
It's not a mattress. It's like in the shape of a mattress, but it's like a cushion, like smaller than that.
Yeah.
It's maybe like 2 inches tall.
And it's on the floor. Most of the time when you're getting a massage, you have a massage table. Right. That you lay down on.
Like a bed.
So this is on the floor.
And there's, when you go to like the doctor and you're sitting in like the doctor's chair, how they have that like paper roll, that was on it. So it's like crinkly under you. So it's like this like paper roll over this gross looking cushion. Yep. Okay. and then so this was my experience too. I walk in and there's this cushion on the floor and she hands me this little bag. Yeah. She handed both of us separately because we're in our own separate rooms at this point.
Yeah. I'm like, what is this? So usually you kind of take off your clothes, get in your underwear.
She said to put this on.
Yeah. She's like, put this on. And I was like, okay. And I get it. And it's like this mesh underwear. And I was like, what the heck? And this is it. Once again, this is where most people, guys, red flag.
Let's just be honest. It was a mesh thong. Okay. So it's not just like, it's not just undies.
Yep. And we both put it on.
We just didn't question it.
We were just like, if we're here, we're doing the whole thing.
We opened it, we're like, okay.
So we get down, we do this entire thing, and the whole thing was so
It was so weird. They were
so
like
bad.
On top of you, practically, giving you this massage.
Yeah, I hated every second of it. It was the worst experience of my life. Alex gets out, and she's like, I liked it. That was nice. And I was like, okay, that was horrible.
It was weird for sure, but it was a great massage.
No, it wasn't.
There's just no denying it for me.
It was not.
But it was so weird. But it was a cultural experience. I cannot.
It was horrible.
We then, once we got back to Wi-Fi, we looked it up. Trash ratings. People had gotten bed bugs from it.
Yep.
There were red flags. We just kept
learn from
going.
us on what not to do.
Don't get a Thai massage in Italy.
There were so many red flags, and we're like, what's the worst that could happen?
I will say, when I was laying there, I did have the thought of okay, they split us up. Now I'm in this room where I'm very vulnerable because I'm only wearing this mesh underwear. Like, could they take me right now? What is going to be my plan? Like, I literally had those thoughts because, you ever seen Taken? That stuff happens.
You know what's funny? We heard another couple come in and they saw the place and left.
Yeah,
they saw the red flags and they were like, "Oh yeah, no, we're not doing this."
They're like, "Oh,"
and we're like, "Well,
we're in it now."
We're the dumb Americans doing this right now.
Okay, so that was like the only bad part about Italy.
Yeah,
I think.
That's true. That was a funny story.
That honestly, like, we survived and we didn't get bed bugs, so like everything was fine.
Yeah, I'm scarred for life, but we made it.
We made it. We survived, and we have a story to tell. So there's that.
That's true.
Okay. Anything else on Italy?
I think that was it.
I think we've really chatted a lot. Yeah.
I think so. We covered a lot.
We did. We covered a lot. But we're about to go to California this week. So, again, by the time you're listening to this, we'll be headed home from California, which is fun. And I'm sure in my life updates next week, I'll chat with you guys all about the trip and what we did and maybe some of what we learned at the training. We're really pumped for it. But, yeah. Anything else before we end out the episode?
I think that's it. It was good being back.
Yeah. We'll have you again sometime.
Thanks.
Anyway, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening. You guys truly are such a great community. You're so supportive, so encouraging, and I hope you have a great week. This is Let's Create with Alex Blake, and I'm your host, Alex Blake. Bye.